And welcome back to the games, and we're going to talk about something we've been pretty much pounding the table on all this time, citizens, when it comes to the focus of Star Citizen. That's the economy. That's our focus here, the player-driven, human-based economy, because those of us that are traders in real life realize the value to an actual player-driven market, a real market that would be policed by SIG, of course, the same way our market is policed by the Fed. You know, the 90-10 split that we talk about, which is a little bit more palatable to me, seeing as that they're going to introduce NPCs very slowly based upon our answers from our last video that SIG had given us. Thank you. We're talking about an economy that we can actually get true value in. Supply and demand, not from NPC missions, not from NPC factories, not anything dealing with NPCs. Now, that's not how it's going to be. That's not how it's planned at this particular point in time within Star Citizen, but we're going to discuss the differences between the two markets, and we have a poll here that I would like everybody to partake in below in the link. And basically it's telling you, would you like the Star Citizen economy to be player driven or NPC driven? Now, very basic poll giving you two options. There could be a multitude of options, but we're going to keep this rather easy. Do you want it predominantly player driven, or do you want it predominantly NPC driven? Now, I've not done a video like this that has introduced a poll, so it should be interesting to see what the responses are from the citizens and from those just coming into the game that are new to the game, that haven't played it yet, that put their bias into it. So this is going to be all population of citizens. I understand that, but I think the poll will give us at least a temperature, a guideline, as it were, to see where exactly do we all stand when it comes to like the market that we want within the game.
It's time to play Pick a Hot Chick's Briefcase! All right, pick a lady, pick a gal.
Number 2.
It's an important concept. Most don't think about it. I understand that. Most are more considering the pew and the explosions and the PvP, and trust me, I love that just like anybody else. Oh my goodness. Yar, if you watch Bringing the Dangerous, when I was playing Elite Dangerous, I might get back into that. I love PvP and was teaching people how to PvP, but I also love to trade. I also love to actually take an item and manipulate it and sell it at a high price and buy it at a low price, and it's just fun for me to do. Many wars are started on your pocketbook, from the resources in the game, and some people will say, you know, hey, I could take the real life money and buy as much creds as I want to destroy an organization that's giving me trouble within Star Citizen. And many do employ this tactic. In fact, I'm taking examples from my personal experience with Eve that happened like every day. And people would get upset at that. Oh my gosh. But there were also instances where people would take as much as thousands of dollars of their own real life cash to try and overthrow larger organizations. At the time I was playing, there was Bob, which is now gone, and Goon, I believe, is gone as well. And these were very large, thousands of players or organizations, alliances that somebody would want to fight, and they would use their real life cash and vice versa. But I've seen like instances where corps that got so big used so much of the in-game creds and the resources that they didn't need to spend $1, one real life dollar, to combat somebody that was actually spending, you know, plenty of real life money. So the argument there is that yes, you can take real life money and you can manipulate the game in such that you can take the market of Star Citizen, and if it was a predominantly player driven market, gear it towards, who cares if it's player driven, because in the end, right, you can take all the real life money and win against the person that doesn't have enough real life money. But that's not true, because I've actually seen examples where people with predominantly player-driven markets in an economy can take the resources within the game and combat even the real-life denomination currencies within real life. Like, I think that's so cool of an idea, where you're in a game and you're taking the in-game resources, which essentially is the same idea as any other economy. Like, Eve's economy in the game is just as real as an economy, with a couple caveats, obviously, as the real life markets out in our world. What makes the difference? What distinguishes the line between the two? The only difference is that you can't use the ISK in Eve or the credits in Star Citizen in these games and spend them in real life. However, this has been tried on other games like Second Life, where the government actually had to come in and tell Second Life, like, hey, your lindens, being able to exchange them back into dollars is kind of a violation. That's why that game was policed so hard and failed so hard, because the government came in and said, we're a little bit concerned that lindens are going to become more valuable than our own dollar. You're playing in the big pool now. We're going to have to crush your game. And that's all economies are, beliefs in a monetary system. If you have enough people believing in a piece of paper, guess what? It gives it value. That's the interesting part about the economy, and that's why I'm so against predominantly NPC-driven economies in games than player-driven. Because player-driven economies in a game, in my opinion, give me more of a real feel. Make me feel like I can actually manipulate an item. And, people's responses are, well, you know what, that's terrible because I don't want to pay XYZ. Let's take an example in Star Citizen. You're selling me a med kit for like, what? 1,000 to 2,000 credits? That's the same price as this particular gun. And I don't see why I should have to pay that. Well, that's the beauty of the market, because then somebody else will come in and say, I'm going to give it to you for a cheaper price. And thus begins a trading war, a war of numbers. The market is that, essentially. Everybody trying to find better values or better deals or ways to exploit systems, but exploit it to the point where it's illegal. Now that's where SIG would come in and have the same ability as the Fed. Now, a counter argument to that is SIG doesn't want to take the time, or SIG doesn't have the amount of people to police it. And I think that's false. Okay, now in an NPC market, you can take examples from like Elite Dangerous. I like Elite Dangerous, but I don't like Elite Dangerous's NPC 100% NPC driven market. Frontier basically gives missions. The only way you can make money is by farming or taking missions through different factions. That's it. And the market is essentially a fake market. So it tells you, hey, take product X to station Y, and there's the creds you'll make, and that's the end of it. Doesn't give you the option to actually understand, what product X is even for, or the value of product X being used for, to make something that has more value to it. Some people might say, oh my God, that's too much detail, that's too much minutia, I just want to blow things up. Well, then you're going to want a predominantly NPC-driven market. So you're going to vote that way. But personally, my game style, my play is I don't like that. I want each item to have a use, a need. It makes the game much more real. The ship that you're flying, that are blowing up other ships, are made from XYZ. The values of those components are actually determined by people in the area. The markets in themselves, I think, interestingly enough, our gamers come up with these amazing thoughts, these angles that I really haven't thought of in the past. And one angle that I thought was really cool is a gamer came to me and said, hey, Al, like, I like what you're trying to do, but like, if this is truly like an alien world, like an alien feel, and you want this as real as possible, all markets should be different in each system. Now, that's beautiful, and I think that's a great thing to aspire to. I think you add that many variables in a game, being that we're all human playing this game, it's going to be a very difficult thing to implement. And if you do so, it will be more of an NPC-driven market if you do that. Now, if you're in that mindset, you have to realize to kind of put that into the game, an NPC-driven market with multiple races, with multiple different types of markets. Ones that are based off of credits, ones that are based off of a trade system. The Van Duels, actually, the way that they operate is kind of like a salvaging trade race. So necessarily they won't have a market the same way we're talking about a citizen-based market. So, maybe I should just kind of edit this and say that I'm talking about the citizen-placed market, the human market. The Banu, if you look at that alien race, they are definitely geared more towards not only just trade, but, capital, money. So this is a very highly driven race that is focused on capitalism, which is very near and dear to humanity. So again, my focus is on this. In a player-driven economy, yes, you're going to have people trying to exploit the game. SIG should be able to come in and police it. if you think that the SIG is not able to go in and police this, then you think if it's a player-driven market, it would be an entire mess. You would vote NPC. But also, if you're the type of person like me where you hate to grind missions out all the time, you hate to do that grind and just farm, and it's a mindless and mind-numbing. You want something more behind what it is that you're actually taking from point A to point B. You want some meaning behind what these things are being used for. Then you want a player-driven, predominantly player-driven economy. Now, as we know, most of the market right now is going to be NPC-driven. I understand this, but we've never done a poll like this, and I just really am curious in seeing where people are going to land on this. And please share this with other people, because I think this is actually a very important topic for everyone that plays the game. It should extend outward as far as possible. The more people, the more true the sample, the more people get involved in this, the more it will be respected, the more people will take heed on this. Our survival pool, as many know that watch the station, survival is not really implemented within Star Citizen. A lot of people want that. In fact, the pool that we took has nearly 500 people at this point. Not a huge sample, I understand, but the pool said basically, do you want survival in it or don't you? And if you look at the survival pool that we took, yes, you could say a million things on how the poll is basically biased because people who watch the games vote on it, and people know that I love survival and want that in the game, but not like with strict guidelines where you have to eat every freaking hour. Nobody wants that. I mean, maybe some people do, but I have the poll basically geared for 3 options. On that survival poll, it's, do you want survival hardcore, like where you have to log in every day? Do you want survival very light core, meaning you have a timer, like a 15 to 35, 40 day timer where you have to eat within that span of time to give food value? And no, I don't want survival at all. And the interesting thing with that poll is, out of the 500 people in that poll, 93% of people want survival. And it's not being talked about. It's a very viewed video. I think at this point in time it's got 12,000 views. It's moderately viewed, let's just say that. With my size being 5,000 subscribers, I would say that would be a video that actually has quite a bit of views and popularity. But what do we want from the game? And that's why I make these videos. So let's see where we're at on the poll. Gamers, oh my gosh, it's just a pleasure. I love making these videos for you. And this was just like a nice one sit, just kind of put it out there. I didn't even need to edit any of this conversation. I'm just going to put it out just like it is. And thanks for watching this. You know, if you hit the end of this, thank you so much. My economy needs help, so go to my Patreon page and become a patron, or at least think about it and see what this channel is about and what we're trying to do. We have a great community here. You want to join our Steam group? We got a great Minecraft server that's free you can join up on. We're updating it right now. So please be patient. And we got a free TeamSpeak server and Discord, a stream. Just check us out. Check the channel out and see what it's about. See if you like it. Thanks for watching, gamers. And I'll see you on the next vid.